I'm head coach Brent Thompson, and this is Sound Tigers Hockey.
And this is the April edition of the Sound Tigers Coaches Show. We're live tonight at the original Vazzy's on Broadbridge Road. I'm Alan Fearing, and you guys think the table looks a little empty up here. It's because it is. We got Michael Dowcold joining us in just a little bit. Also, head coach Brent Thompson is on his way. He's stuck in some traffic right now, but we'll await his arrival here as we continue on with our monthly coaches shows. This is the final one of the regular season, our fourth show of the all-new coaches shows here at the original Vazzy. So happy to have everybody here live on location. Again, these are always interactive. We really encourage your guys' participation, your questions throughout the breaks. We've been asking throughout the last couple of weeks for your questions online, whether that be Facebook, Twitter, also email, or of course here live on location. If you guys have a question about the Sound Tigers season, certainly don't hesitate to come up here and ask during each of the commercial breaks. Again, we've got Sound Tigers forward and Islanders prospect Michael Dowcold joining us in just a minute, and Brent Thompson hopefully will join us here in just a few minutes when he gets here to the original Vazzies. But we'll kick it off by talking about the playoff race, which continues to heat up, and boy, this is one of the closest races Bridgeport has ever seen. Right now, the Sound Tigers not in a playoff spot, although they have eclipsed the 90-point mark on this season. And right now, the Sound Tigers 1 point out of that final playoff spot in the Atlantic Division. They're 1 point behind Hershey. They've got 92 markers on the year. Now, two teams are locked in out of the Atlantic Division. Wilkes-Barre Scranton has clinched the division, and so they'll have home ice throughout the first couple of rounds of the playoffs and likely the conference finals as well. For Lehigh Valley, they just clinched last night, and so they've got an X next to their name. The Providence Bruins, the Hershey Bears right there in a playoff spot right now, but they are not secured. Springfield, Hartford, two teams that are eliminated, so don't have to worry about them as far as the standings goes. But, of course, on the ice, Bridgeport will face Springfield tomorrow for their second-to-last game of the regular season. So right now the Sound Tigers with 44 wins in 74 games. And again, they've got 92 points, but they're not in a playoff spot yet. This, in fact, will be the first time one of these teams will have as many points as they do without making the playoffs, whether that be Bridgeport, whether it be Hershey, even Providence still within reach. But one of those three teams is going to miss the playoffs and have more than 90 points. The Binghamton Senators back in 2009 had 91 points and missed the playoffs. But looking back for at least the last 15, 20 years, nobody has had more points than that and missed the playoffs, and that will certainly happen this season. Here's the crazy thing. Bridgeport is in 5th place in the entire conference right now, and they may not make the playoffs. So, again, one of those teams is going to have a fantastic year, and it's going to come up a little bit short as far as the postseason is concerned. No games tonight in the Eastern Conference as far as the American Hockey League is concerned. There are a few out west. Cleveland is at home tonight. Iowa is hosting Chicago, and also San Jose and Tucson are battling. For the Sound Tigers, tomorrow on the road in Springfield, Massachusetts, the Sound Tigers will take on the Springfield Thunderbirds, the 12th meeting and the final meeting between those two teams. And then on Saturday, the season finale, that's in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania against the Penguins. And a couple of interesting matchups when you look at the fact that Springfield has been eliminated. So they're playing for, one, their pride, and for two, trying to spoil the hopes of the Sound Tigers or any other team that they'll meet this season the rest of the way. And for Wilkes-Barre Scranton, now they've already clinched not only a playoff spot, but the division as well. And so they, too, don't have much to play for as far as standings go or seeding. Really, the Penguins are just going to be playing kind of a style of hockey where they're going to try to keep things going into the playoffs, trying to build a little bit more momentum before the postseason starts. So two teams that the Sound Tigers aren't necessarily battling head-to-head for a playoff spot, but a lot to keep an eye on with their games this weekend and, of course, a lot of scoreboard watching as well. Now, really, you kind of have to figure in there's 4 different scenarios that the Sound Tigers need or could go one of 2 ways, of course, helping the Sound Tigers get in or helping to, on the other side, disallow them to get into the postseason. So 4 different scenarios could play out. And one of those scenarios, of course, this is the one the Sound Tigers are hoping for, is to win both games and then hoping for one Hershey loss in regulation. That would help jump them in the standings. Now, there is a chance where they can lose a game in regulation and still make it in, but, of course, the Hershey Bears then would need to lose both games in regulation. Right now, there's only one scenario the Sound Tigers have the tiebreaker in. So they can't count on that at all. Right now at this point in time, the Sound Tigers need to just focus on leapfrogging Hershey altogether and not letting this be tied at the end of the regular season, because if it is, more than likely the Hershey Bears would win that tiebreaker. There's a full list of tiebreakers that you can find online, but as we continue on with the coaches show here, basically, it's going to take a couple of must-wins for the Sound Tigers. If they win, there's a good shot that they'll be in, as long as, of course, we get a Hershey loss and Providence in there as well. Now, they're still within reach because Providence lost yesterday, and so that helps keep them at bay. There are two situations where tomorrow both Providence and Hershey could clinch a playoff spot. And, of course, if the Sound Tigers lose and both of those teams both win, well, that won't be what Sound Tigers fans are hoping for, and we'll certainly cross our fingers that that doesn't happen. So tomorrow's game is at 7:05 in Springfield, Massachusetts, and again, it all concludes on Saturday night in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Those are the final two games and final two teams the Sound Tigers will face this season, and the team's coming off of a big 3-2 win over the Hartford Wolfpack last Sunday. We'll talk with both head coach Brent Thompson and, of course, Michael Dowell-Cole about that win and helping them get on track after some crucial losses against Providence on Friday and Saturday. So we'll take a quick break here on the Coaches Show. I hope you're enjoying your dinner and this live show tonight. It's our final show of the regular season, hoping to get these geared back up for next year. It's been a lot of fun monthly shows here at the original Vazzies. And again, if you've got a question come up here, certainly you don't have to ask one, but if there's something on your mind, we'll do our best to answer it, or at least Brent Thompson and Michael Dowell-Cole can answer it. And we'll talk to them next, and we'll get their insights here on this stretch run to what hopefully turns into a postseason berth for the Sound Tigers. We'll also have a little bit of fun with Michael Dowell-Cole here, as well as we have the last couple of shows with guys like Ben Holmstrom and Ryan Pollock last month. So we'll have some fun with Michael, and we'll continue to talk about the season finale coming up this weekend, and the Sound Tigers trying to clinch a playoff spot in their 16th season in the American Hockey League. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with more here on the Coaches Show, and we'll await head coach Brent Thompson's arrival. He's on his way, I promise, in some traffic, and we'll get his thoughts here coming up a little bit later on the show. This is the Sound Tigers Coaches Show at the original Vazzies.